Hey there YouTube, my name is Trent, and in this video I'm going to share with you the money that I'm going to spend to transition from a private pilot with about 100 hours all the way through to achieving the following ratings: commercial pilot, instrument pilot, chief flight instructor, CFII, which is chief flight instructor instruments, multi-engine rating, and then multi-engine instructor. And I'm going to take about 4 to 5 months to do all of that on a very full-time basis, like 7 days a week. And I'm starting this at the age of 53, all with the goal of becoming a first officer at Skywest, which is a regional airline out on the West Coast. I'm already in their pilot cadet program, and that goal should be achieved in about 18 months from now. So if that sounds good to you, let's dive right into it. All right, before we break down all of the cost and the expenses that I'm going to be incurring over the next 4 to 5 months, the one thing that I wanted to make sure that you understand is this. If you're in your 40s or like me in your early 50s and you've ever thought, man, I'd really like to go ahead and become an airline pilot, know a couple of things. One, there has never been a better time to be an airline pilot for two main reasons. Number one, there's a huge pilot shortage in the United States. And number two, because of that shortage, starting wages have gone up by about 100% in the last year. So for example, 18 months from now, when I start with Skywest, my starting hourly rate is about $90 an hour, which equates to a minimum income of around $90,000 in the first year. Work a little bit overtime and you can break into the 6 figures. So that is substantially different than it has pretty much ever been in the history of aviation. So since publishing my first video just a couple of weeks ago, I've accumulated almost 100,000 views, which has absolutely blown my mind. And as a result of all of those views, I got a lot of questions of people saying, hey, how much does it cost and how long does it take and so forth. So I've never recorded a video about that before. So that is what we're going to cover in this video. And now we are going to dive right into it. Now, for those of you who don't yet have a private pilot's license, I'm going to cover that real quick right here at the beginning. To get a private pilot's license, you need a total of 40 hours, and you will spend approximately $10,000 to do that. You've got medical of about $140, textbooks and pilot supplies of about $500, dual training time somewhere in the order of $4,000, solo training time somewhere in the order of $3,000, ground instruction right at around $1,700 to $1,800. Your FAA exam, $165, $170, and then your check ride fee, which will be about $800. You add all that up, it comes to about $10,423. Now let's dive into the rating that I'm working on right now, which is the instrument rating. Now I'm attending a Part 61 school. So if you don't know the difference, there's two types of schools that at least that I'm aware of. One is a Part 141 school, one is a Part 61 school. There's probably lots more differences that I'm about to explain, but essentially a Part 141 school has a very defined curriculum defined by the FAA. It takes longer to go through one of those schools. A Part 61 is essentially just a school that you can go through at a faster pace, and the school that I'm going through is at a Part 61 school. So here is the cost breakdown that I will incur to achieve my instrument license. Textbooks and pilot supplies, roughly $600. Then you need 15 hours of dual training. That's going to run just a couple $100 shy, about $3,800. Then you can have 40 hours of instrument time that is either in a aircraft or in a flight simulator. It's a lot less expensive if you do it in a flight simulator. So I'm going to do those 40 hours in a flight simulator. That's going to cost me about $2,500, well, $2,400. Then you need 50 hours of cross-country time. So that's obviously got to be in a real airplane. That's going to run me about $9,600. Ground school, 10 hours, that'll run me around $600. And then you need a check ride at the end of all of that, which is approximately $800, all for a total of $17,780, give or take. Now, the asterisk under this and all of the ratings is what I'm quoting you is the costs for the minimum number of hours. Now, most pilots are unable to achieve the success they need to pass their check ride in the minimum number of hours. I have been fortunate in my private pilot's license. I was able to do it in the minimum number of hours based upon the feedback I've gotten from my instructors. So far in my instrument, they say I'm going to be able to do it in the minimum amount of hours. But just know that if it takes you longer, then the numbers that I'm quoting you are going to be higher than what I'm quoting. Okay, so now as soon as I'm done, let's talk about the commercial rating. I'm going to start, you're kind of working on your commercial hours as you're working through your instrument, but I'm going to break it out for you in a separate section of the video. So for the commercial, you need a grand total of 250 hours. However, your private pilot flying counts towards that. Any flying you did after your private license counts towards that. All the flying that you do while you're in your instrument, a lot of it will count towards that. But here's the critical things that you need. You're going to have about the same fee, $600, give or take, in textbooks and supplies. Then you need to have a total of 50 cross-country hours. Now, I've put a 0 there because I'll already have achieved those 50 hours of cross-country time while doing my instrument, so I don't have to pay for it again. Then you're going to need about 100 hours of PIC time, which is pilot in command, and I already have over 60 hours of pilot in command time, so that means I only need around another 40 hours, so that's going to run me about $6,000, and then there's the FAA examiner fee of $800. So for me, my commercial rating is only going to cost me an additional $7,500 or so from the school that I am going to. All right, so now we're going to lump the rest of them together here. There's the multi-engine rating, the CFI certification, the CFII, and the MEI. So the multi-engine rating, the school I'm attending has an accelerated course for all 4 of these. And so the course fee is $46.50 for the accelerated multi-engine plus your FAA examiner's fee of $800. So that's going to run me about $54.50. Then for the accelerated CFI, it's going to run me about $7,850. Then for the accelerated CFII, it's going to run me about $4,000. And then for the accelerated program for the multi-engine instructor, that's going to run me about another $5,500. So if you add all of that up, it comes to about $48,000, which is right in line with the number that I had given people in comments in the past. And there was a whole bunch of people that were just like, hey, how are you getting to this number? Because there is a lot of national schools like ATP, for example, that are charging substantially more money than that. I can only assume that, and I don't even know this, but I suspect they're Part 141 schools. And I know in the case of ATP, they're charging you for extra hours over and above the minimum. So even if you were to finish in the bare minimums, you're still paying for the extra hours, whether you end up using them or not, which obviously I'm not a big fan of because I have a track record of finishing in the minimum number of hours. So hopefully that answers your questions about how much I'm spending in terms of the time. Because I'm going at this on a full-time basis, I've moved away from home, quite a ways away from home. So I have 0 distractions, and I study and I fly 7 days a week. I literally barely take it. And there's a few hours off here and there to hit the grocery store, do some laundry, get a quick workout in and what have you. But I understand that this might sound like there's no way, Trent, you could ever possibly get it done in that amount of time. I got news for you. Yes, you can. As a matter of fact, my mentor, David, who is now working for Skywest, went from private pilot to first officer at Skywest in 18 months. So I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm simply following in his footsteps. Now, I'm not also trying to say that everybody can do this, because not everybody is in the situation that I'm in, where I had businesses, I sold these businesses, and I was able to devote my full-time energy, and I literally removed myself from my family situation, mostly because I don't live where this particular flight school is. So I really had no choice but to be away from my family, which, while it's very effective for allowing me to immerse myself in the studies, it kind of sucks because I really don't like being away from my family. Okay, so let me wrap up by adding a few extra things that I didn't even tell you were coming your way. So if you peeled out early and you're not watching this, maybe you're missing out. So the reception that I've received from YouTube and the people watching YouTube has been nothing short of amazing. It has blown me away how many people have watched my videos and sent me thank yous and sent me tips and all these wonderful things. And I really feel like I would like to be able to give back in some way, because I understand that not everyone who has the same goals and dreams as I do is in the same financial situation that I am. So what I'm about to explain may or may not be in place at the time that you're watching this video. There will be more information in the links below. So if what I'm about to describe, I've been able to create it, then you'll find links down below. If what I'm about to describe simply I wasn't able to put it together because I couldn't find the sponsors or the partners, then there may or may not be any links right down below. So please keep that in mind as you're watching this. So one of my viewers suggested to me that I come up with some type of scholarship program, which I thought was a really great idea. So right now, because my channel is growing so quickly, I'm starting to solicit companies that make and sell products that guys like you and me would be interested in buying, be they pilot products or training products or whatever they are, to help us move along the path towards the goal that I talked about at the beginning of this video. What you can, if that sounds exciting to you, there's a couple of very, very easy things that won't cost you a dime that you can do to help me bring this to fruition. The number one thing these sponsors are going to be looking at is how fast is Trent's channel growing and how big is his audience. In other words, how many people are going to see whatever sponsorships that we do. So to help me maximize those numbers, there's a couple things you can do. Number one, always like, comment, and share the videos. Number two, become a subscriber to the channel. Costs you nothing. Click the little bell. You get notifications when I produce new videos. The other thing that I would like to do is I'd like to build an email list. So at some point, there's going to be a Fly with Trent website. As I mentioned, it may or may not be live at the time you're watching this video. If it is, there will be a link down below. Please go and join the email list. I will not be spamming you with a whole bunch of emails about crap you don't want to read. I'm not going to be sharing your email address with anybody, any other third parties. All I will be doing is emailing you when I publish a new full-length video. I'm not going to do it for all the shorts that I do because that'd be too many emails. And it's another metric for me. So why is this important for me? It's another way of me showing to these potential partners, these sponsors, hey guys, I've got an email list with 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever would-be pilots on it. And if you want to sponsor the channel, therefore I can get more of a return for you. So what am I going to do with this sponsorship money? Am I going to put it in my pocket? No, I'm not. I'm actually going to give it to you guys in the form of scholarships or contests or giveaways or what have you, and I'm going to be super transparent about all this stuff. So hopefully that's a pretty small ask on my behalf for you to like, comment, share, subscribe, etc., so that I get the data that I need to be able to be successful in convincing companies to become sponsors of this channel. So that was a very, very long ending, but thank you very much for watching it all. It's been a pleasure to produce what I hope is another great video for you guys. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of questions. I look forward to answering them all. I read literally every single comment myself. I don't have an assistant reading them and answering on my behalf. So if you get a reply, it came from yours truly. So please, if you have questions, leave them for me down below. We'll see you in the friendly skies and in another video soon. Take care, and then fly with Trent. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.